out something hours. The sweat on my back's got my shirt soaked and sour. And oh, it's already gone. Second night's coming and I'm spinning back around. We're all caught up, can't hear or feel the sound. And oh, it's already gone. And here comes the feeling when you don't got nothing and all you want to do is get up and start running. You can't hide long cause you know it's gonna start up again. Here's one thing that I know for certain, this life's too short to be worrying about you hurting for long. Oh, it's already gone. Got time but money's not something that's free. Seems the road the dice never rolls back then. Here's one thing that I know for certain, this life's too short to be worrying about you hurting for long. Oh, it's already gone. And all you want to do is get up and start running. You can't hide long cause you know it's gonna start up again. Here's one thing that I know for certain, is life's too short to be worried about you hurting for long. Whoa, it's already gone. Already gone. It's already gone. Go.
What is up, Jags fans? We are back on a Tuesday night edition of Jaguars United, and we are back finally with some film. We're going to be looking at some film tonight. I'm super excited. We're going to be looking at what I think are going to be the most unstoppable Jaguar offensive formations with the team that we have. And we're going to take a look at some of the formations they ran last year in the regular season and playoffs, and we're going to see what they may look like this year with some of the new additions and the players getting to know Trevor Lawrence and the offense even more better. I'm super excited about tonight. This is your first time here. Glad you're here. This is a fan show, and we want you to get into the comments. So get into the YouTube comments. If you can't catch it live, get into the comments after the fact. If you're watching it later, then leave a comment on what you think. And super excited about this year. I mean, Jags football is almost here. So really excited for tonight's show. Really excited to be hanging out with you guys talking Jags. Ninjustice, first one in the chat, says, can you imagine being a cornerback 4 and you have to cover Travis Hunter? Go Jags. Absolutely. Robert Atzert says, Duval, let's go. Jags fan 21571 says, Duval season is almost here. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Cam Boysvert, first channel member in the chat, says, Lego. Trev the Goat said, Sea Breacher, where you at? Yeah, where is he? Someone text him. Isaiah Mims says, "What's up, United? Ninja says, have you been to some preseason practices? I've been to OTAs, but I haven't been to any training camp. They started kind of when I had to work, going to the office a little bit more, so I haven't been able to get out to there yet, unfortunately. But I've been reading the tea leaves, been listening to the people talk, and there is some big news. I kind of want to go through some of the what I think are the important things that have been happening at the training camps that could impact the season that's happened over the last couple days. First thing I got to shout out JP Shadrick, Jaguars legend, he media guy, writer. He is taking his talents to Arizona to be the voice of the Cardinals. I like JP Shadrick. It's going to be interesting to see him as the voice of a team. I'm not one of these people that gets like super into the voice of our team on the radio. I don't really listen to it on the radio that much. I'm at most games or I'm watching most games. So the voice of the team has never been a big deal to me. I know people have mixed feelings about Frank Frangie. I think he does a fine job, but again, I don't really listen to him. You hear on the big plays, they'll dub his voice over on big plays, which is cool. But again, I rarely listen to him do play-by-play. So I did like J.P. Shadrick, though. Can't believe that. It's almost football season when Jason's breaking down film. That's right. I got a lot of plays queued up, and I think you're going to like them. I think you're going to like where I'm going with this video. Last couple things regarding training camp. The defense has been dominating, especially today. I mean, the defense had a strong showing. It was their second day in full pads. Antonio Johnson, Eric Murray, and Jarian Jones all had interceptions today. Jarian Jones had a pass breakup. Branson Combs had a goal line breakup. The secondary and the defense, they forced multiple turnovers, and they made life difficult for Trevor. Nick Mullins didn't really look good either. It was definitely one of the defense's better days of practice of camp so far. They definitely outshined the offense, and it just kind of goes to show that Campanile is a stud. And the fact that we have him for another year, I mean, I like the guys we have on defense, but in no way do I think they're all world. And he's got them playing that way. So I don't think this is an indictment of the offense. I think the defense has just been playing really well. Travis Hunter, I think, is the second biggest news coming out of camp, and that's that he's playing both sides of the ball, a lot, both sides of the ball. He's playing 86 snaps through 6 practices, 51 on defense, 35 on offense. So they got him playing both ways, which is what they said they were going to do, and I'm here for it. Looks good coming off of his knee injury. Added, looks like about 10 pounds of muscle. Looks good out there. Looks good. The third biggest news, I think, Anton Harrison playing a lot of left tackle. Something that we've talked about for years. We can't seem to find a left tackle with the Jags, and right tackle Anton Harrison has been solid since he's been here. Better than solid, but he's finally getting the chance to be that left tackle. And in the NFL, you have to have a left tackle and a right tackle. You do for sure. But with a right-handed quarterback having that blind side, I mean, how many times have we seen Trevor Lawrence get blown up from the blind side because Walker Little, you go back to Cam Robinson, Cole Van Lanen's had his moments where Trevor Lawrence just gets blown up from the blind side. And at least if the blitz comes from the right, he can see it coming, right? So definitely interested to see if that sticks, if that's a position that he stays at. We'll see. Tech is my world says, what's up, Jason, my man? Was yesterday your birthday, by the way? Yes, it was. Yes, it was. How'd you know that? Wow. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. It was my birthday. All right. So we're going to get into some of the offensive formations that I think could be dangerous for the Jaguars this year. Obviously, with the Jaguars investing into Brenton Strange and drafting Nate Borkature and drafting Tanner Koziel and re-signing Quentin Morris, they are putting a emphasis on the tight end position. And when I went back and went through some of these games last year, I don't know how I forgot, but they played a lot of 2 tight end sets last year, a ton. You know, whether it was Hunter Long out there, whether it was Johnny Munt or Quentin Morris, like they had a lot of 2 tight end sets last year, in the regular season. So a lot of I just clipped a few that I found. I kind of want to take a look at them. This first one was from the Monday night game in the Chiefs versus the Chiefs. And I clipped this one because it's kind of an interesting formation. You don't typically see two tight ends off of the line of scrimmage, off the ball. Now, we're still good because we have two receivers on the line of scrimmage. And obviously, the downside of that is if you got slider framed wide receivers, they can get pressed. So, a lot of times you like to have a receiver off of the line of scrimmage so they can get a clean release. But here you're going to see two tight ends off the ball. And the Jags are under center. I did want to try to find some plays where they were in, where they ran the ball and they passed the ball. So here you're going to see again. Can you imagine if this is Borkature and Strange? Imagine this play in this formation with Borkature and Strange right here. You're going to see they put Hunter Long in motion. He comes up as a lead blocker. So you got a lead blocker from your tight end too. And then you have another block here by Brenton Strange. And so now you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hats on 1, 2, 3, 4 hats. Great play design. I like it. If your tight ends can block. ETN, not a ton there, but again, remember who's blocking. Like throw Borkature into this mix, and it's looking a lot better. So we're going to stay on that theme of two tight ends here for a second. How do you feel about the O-line? You talk so highly about them every year. I don't usually. I don't know what to think now with Anton Harrison being at left tackle a little bit. Again, doesn't mean he's going to play left tackle during the regular season, but if you could put him at left tackle, then can Cole Van Landen play right tackle? I don't even know. Like we've seen Walker Little do it, and he wasn't really that good. So I don't know. We'll see. I haven't heard much about Pregnon. I haven't heard. Macari's kind of still. He's looked okay so far. I mean, I think Cleveland's looked okay so far, and you know what you have in Hainsey, and so I think they're good enough. I think they're good enough. I will say that. Me and Seabreacher wish you a belated happy birthday, United. Thanks, Trev the Goat. Appreciate that. Happy late birthday. I think you said your birthday on Twitter in some past year. Oh, I appreciate that. Tekken, appreciate that. Yeah, it was a good birthday. Definitely a good birthday. If University of Miami don't win the national championship, what does that mean for the whole money is running college football theory? They got a lot of money spent on the roster last year in this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because it's not a Jags, and people are going to watch these early parts to get Jags info. But I think Texas Tech spent the most money on their roster all of last year, and they made the playoff. So they went from a team that couldn't even be a contender outside of Mahomes to a team that made the playoff. So you could just look to that. Danny, YouTube, Jag says, let's go. We back. All right, let's stick with this two tight end theme a little bit. I got a lot of clips that we got to rifle through here, boys. All right, so another two tight end set here. Now you're going to see that a gun. Okay, so again, I'm glad you guys are here. We're going to get the terminology. If you've been watching on my channel for a while, you know the verbiage and the terminology, but I like to recap just because when the regular season starts and preseason, we're going to be doing a lot of film breakdowns. But when we say 10 personnel, this first number is referring to the amount of receivers. I'm sorry, the amount of running backs. And this second number is the amount of tight ends. Now, every coach will call this differently. Like I said, technically, you have a tight end here and you have a tight end here. So do you call this 11 personnel because you have an inline tight end? Do you call it 12 personnel because you have a tight end in the game even though he's lined up tight? A lot of coaches would probably call this, 11 personnel, but whatever you want to say. So they're in gun. And again, two tight ends. And I clipped this play specifically because you have an inline blocking tight end and you have a receiving tight end. So why this is dangerous? Because think of the combinations you could have with this right here. You could have Brenton Strange right here, and then you could have Tanner Koziel right here. You could have Quentin Morris right here, and you could have Brenton Strange right here. You could have Nate Borkature right here, and you could have Brenton Strange / Tanner Koziel, right? You have a lot of combinations here, okay? And I like the trips out to the right here. So, for the sake of this, we'll call this 11 gun tray. And tray just means that you have trips to one side, and then you have a nub tight end to the other. So 11 gun right tray, I guess you could call that. Again, every coach calls it something different. But I mean, think of the combinations you could have here. And then out here you have Brian Thomas Jr., you have Parker Washington, this could be Travis Hunter, this could be Jacoby Myers. The possibilities are absolutely endless in this offense right now. Absolutely endless. I can't remember what the play is. Just a nice little curl route. You're telling me Nate Borkature couldn't do this? You're telling me Nate couldn't do what Hunter Long did? That's what Nate Borkature's bread and butter was in college, was that type of catch. Here's another two tight end look. This is against the Broncos. And here you're going to see a more traditional one tight end on the line, one tight end on the line but off the ball. And then you have twins out to the right. Again, they're in ace formation, meaning the quarterback's under center. You got your twins out to the right here. And again, think of the combinations you could have with this now. Strange, Borkature, which will probably be the combination. As a safety, I'm taking Bashaw Tootin. All day, every day. I never heard you say anything nice about the O-line. So good to hear something average. I knew you were messing with me. I knew you were messing with me with that. I have not been big on this O-line. And that's one thing I thought when they brought in Tony Baselli. One of the things I was most pumped about is because if we know anything about Tony Baselli, it's that he is obviously going to emphasize improving the offensive line, which is what I feel like he did, bringing in Pregnon, Milam last year, maybe moving Anton over to left, the signing Cole Van Lannon. And those are all moves that they made to improve the offensive line. So not trading Walker Little. I'm sure teams called about Walker Little. I'm sure they did. And the fact they didn't move him, probably a lot of it was because of Cole Van Lannon's injury status right now. But still, the fact that they didn't move on from him kind of goes to show they are going to emphasize a bit on the offensive line. Mr. Know-It-All, what up, Mr. Know-It-All? O-line took a few steps forward, run blocking, but took a few steps back, pass blocking. What's funny is because that's what you do when you run block, you move forward. Again, this is going to force the defense to stack the box, whether it's with an extra linebacker or a box safety or whatever else. You can see here they got 8 in the box right here. And when you are matching up 8 in the box, and you have versatile tight ends like Strange and Koziel and Borkature, and we'll lump Morris in there, then that gives you something. Then you got Tootin in the backfield here. So you're gonna see them here in the 2 tight end set again. A little pre-snap motion. And essentially they're just playing Brenton Strange here like a fullback. So, I mean, this is old school football. You got Quentin Morris here, who's going to play a blocker here on the right edge. And then you have Brenton Strange, who's going to lead block as a fullback. So, again, gives you a lot of versatility here. I think the 2 tight end set, I honestly don't. It'll be interesting to see how they play Koziel. I don't think they're going to change what they do too much as far as tendencies, because they ran a ton of 2 tight end sets last year. A ton. With Johnny Munt, Hunter Long, Quentin Morris as backups to Brenton Strange, and missing Brenton Strange for a lot of the year. So I think if you're the Jaguars and you're going back and looking at the entirety body of work of your film, and you see that you were in 2 tight end sets a ton, and Brenton Strange missed some games, the glaring hole in the roster is the tight ends, which is why I think they went out and got Borkature, and they went out and got Koziel, and they, did those types of things. Most NFL teams are good enough to win a Super Bowl with the right surrounding circumstances. If you just have an average roster with an above-average coach, quarterback, and 1 to 2 game changers, look at the Seahawks. You can't just sit back there for 20 seconds because eventually someone will come open. You have to get pressure, and we're paying 2 ends to get pressure. So I've been saying for a long time, and you guys all agree with me, you have to get pressure out of that edge spot. Have to. They also use the 6 O-linemen at times. Second tight end. What's up, Jason? What's up, Robert? You're right. Good point. Good point. They did use a lot of tackle over, extra tackle. All right, last play we're going to show from the 2 tight end sets. This was against the Cardinals, who have the same rating as us on Madden. And here you're going to see just your standard 2 tight ends here. Again, they're in pistol, so 12 pistol again. But then they have, at this point, I don't know if they do, I can't remember if they do pre-snap motion, but at this point, they're 12 pistol twins left. So I'm sure they'll do some sort of pre-snap motion somewhere. Oh, no, they didn't. Well, look at that. Because you got a release and a block, it seems. Okay, so I think they score on this play, don't they? Yeah. Now, big question: who's going to replace ETN on this play here? But here you're just going to see a simple who runs the out. So here's like a pretty advanced bench concept. Brenton Strange is going to run the out. Jacoby Myers is going to run a post, and then Parker Washington's going to run a fly. Maybe, I mean, I wouldn't. Maybe it's a dagger concept. I don't know. I'd call it a bench. It's probably both a dagger and a bench. Um, Arizona does a decent job covering up this route concept. They're in cover 2, so it makes sense that they're able to do this. I think they're in cover 2. I don't really know. I mean, now that I'm looking at it, whatever, who cares? But eventually they're just going to hit ETN out of the backfield for the touchdown. And again, the 2 tight end sets because you have Johnny Munt back here holding down an edge by himself. Then releases late. If we look at the end zone here, it's Brenton Strange's block that ultimately scores him a touchdown. So ETN crosses the goal line, and look who the closest guys are to him. Tight end 1, tight end 2. Telling you, man, they had a reason they went after these guys. Everyone that's like, oh, they're reaching for tight ends. No, that was that's what they want to mix in with everything else. Like they want to be a team that can spread you out with 4 wide receivers, and they want to be a team that can bring you in with 2 tight ends. And they want to do them both equally well. They don't want to be super proficient at one and then terrible at the other. So that's the reason why they did that. And I'm okay with it because the offense I thought was pretty good last year. Interior D will get pressure this year to help the edge. Will they? I hope. I mean, you're losing Devin Lloyd up the middle on blitzes. D Ham's not that guy. Great guy, but not that guy. I mean, Armstead, I mean, is he going to do it? I mean, Albert Reed just didn't show a lot of interior pressure in college. He's more of a run stopper. So I don't know. I hope so, Robert. I do. I did not know the Cardinals have the same rating. The disrespect is real. 4-3 Tootin. I hope you are right about the interior D. I think that's our worst unit. When it comes to pressures, yes. But when it comes to run stopping, it could be the best unit in the league. If you think about it. All right, we're going to move on to some. Let's go to some. I'm going to kind of jump around from my original plan here because I think this is probably the second most dangerous formation that we have based on the amount of depth we have at wide receiver, and that's the empty set. Okay, so here you're going to see against the Chiefs, the empty set. So empty, just 2x3. Again, we read left to right like a book. So when we say empty 2x3, what we're saying is the offense has 2 wide receivers on the left, 3 wide receivers on the right, just for the sake of terminology and being on the same page, boys. But what you will notice is that Travis Etienne is one of the wide receivers. You'll see that sometimes. The Jags do this a lot. I don't think they do it on this play, but what I noticed a lot is they'll line up in this empty set. They'll get the defense to declare their coverage because when you spread the field sideline to sideline like this, the defensive backs and linebackers have to space themselves appropriately to be able to cover the entirety of the field. And this tells Trevor Lawrence like where the soft spots may be. So they're playing close to the line of scrimmage. They're playing 1 high. So this is telling Trevor that the soft spots are going to be either to the flat or to the corner pre-snap. Okay. What the Jags do a lot, and again, it could also be on this side as well. What the Jags do a lot is they'll move ETN pre-snap back into the running back spot because now the O-line knows where the pressure's coming from. So they don't do it on this play. But this empty set, this position at the running back, I'll be interested to see what they do. There's a couple plays coming up where they have LaQuint Allen in this spot, and I think that's probably where they'll go next year is more LaQuint Allen heavy at this wide receiver in the empty formation. But think of the possibilities. I mean, out here you see a tight end, but this could be Strange or it could be Koziel. You see a wide receiver. This could be any of our wide receivers. I mean, this could be anybody. And you start combining in all of the weapons we have on offense. You take obviously Parker Washington. You take Jacoby Myers. You take Travis Hunter. You take BTJ. You take Brenton Strange. You take Tanner Koziel. You take LaQuint Allen. I mean, you're looking at 7 guys who give you all a unique look in this empty set. Again, you can move LaQuint Allen back here, and now you have a pass protector, a personal protector for the quarterback to let the other 4 get open. I mean, that's a lot of possibilities. A lot of possibilities with this offense. And again, I'm lumping in Koziel because I think he's a monster. Incomplete, but whatever. LaQuint Allen makes that catch, right? All right, here's another example. This is against the Texans. Again, this is the reverse of what I just said. They come out at the snap and they show you that they're in, we'll call it 10 personnel. I know he's a tight end, but I'm going to call it 10 personnel because if you're removed from the line of scrimmage and you're in gun, I just grew up calling it 10. Okay, it is what it is. They come out 10 personnel with a trips left bunch off the rip. Defense comes out, trying to make adjustments, and then pre-snap, Trevor's going to put LaQuint Allen into motion and creates a quads to the left. Now, anytime you see quads, if you're a smart defender, you're thinking screen right away. Screen is like the most commonly run play I feel out of quads. But I mean, look at how the Texans are lined up. Here. I mean, a screen here. I can't remember what they run here, but a screen here would probably be the best play. Let's see what they run. Not a screen. They run a mesh, a curl, a post, and a curl. Don't love this route concept. I mean, maybe the mesh was there. I mean, the mesh is there. Now that I think about it, the mesh is there. So it seems like this play was designed to be a mesh. And it's wide open. The downside of running a mesh, running a route concept like a mesh that takes 3 seconds to get through is that you only have 5 guys blocking 4, which in numbers game makes sense, but we know how that usually goes. And I believe it looks like Trevor does get sacked here. Oh yeah, this is the play Macari. This is on Macari. It's just on Macari right here. Film breakdowns in early August, boys. You got to love it. It was a stunt. I mean, maybe we'll give Macari a little bit of credit. I mean, you got to be able to block that, but they do run the stunt. Yeah, not ideal. Not ideal at all. God of Share says, well, if Josh Cameron's that good of a blocker, then we'll probably see him on the field quite a bit in 12-man. Good point. Good point. Armstead, Combs, Big Ham, Aru been wrecking our O-line in camp. I always forget to talk about Aru. I don't know why, but apparently he looks really good. So I guess I just haven't seen him on film, like anywhere ever. Never heard of him. I understand he's been in the league. Me personally, I mean, maybe I'm not a huge fan. I just haven't heard of him. Quarterback draw here on that play. Yeah, I mean, you want to limit how often you do that. Obviously, it's for Trevor's body, but yes, I mean, we saw quite a bit of Trevor taking off in those situations last year. It's good to hear. All right, let's stay with the empty theme a little bit. This is the last empty play that I have, and this is against the Bills in the playoff game. This has to be toward the end of the half because I mean these defensive backs are playing 25 yards off the ball. So maybe this is a bad example. Um, yeah, in a shell coverage. So forget the context here. I like the formation. Again, you got this here. You got LaQuint Allen in that running back spot. This is almost the same formation. They had a tight end that last play we saw here, and it looks like they got a receiver out there this time. But again, think of the possibilities. Bad example again because looks like it's at the end of the half. Or no, it's yeah, this had to be the end of the half. So, but just you see what I'm saying. Let's for funsies. Let's see what happens on this play. Great catch, Parker. Great catch, Parker. Great job. Great job. All right. What else could they do? Great question. Great question. Here's some more like basic formations that I think we'll see a lot. This is just 10, 11. Again, what are we going to call it? We'll call him 11 here. 11 gun, 2 by 1 tight. Again, we got 2 tight formation here. I like this tight formation because it makes the defense kind of declare what they're doing. It looks like they're playing cover 2 with 2 high, but with the corners playing here, it seems like that Trevor, all he has to do is read is the linebacker shooting the flat. Because if he is, then that means the middle of the field's going to be open. So again, I'm guessing one of these guys is going to attack the middle of the field. This is against the Panthers. And then one of the guys is going to be attacking vertical. I'm assuming you have some sort of drag, just guessing, to the field side of the ball. We say field side because we're on the right hash, so that means there's more room on the left side here. Okay, so they run a smash concept against the cover 2, which is not ideal. That's why no one was open. So the smash concept is it's kind of a little baby smash. You got a little curl here, and you got a little corner here. I mean, this would have been great against a 1 high look, but they came out and cut in 2 high, which means they're going to have this smash on lock. So they just dump it out the running back. Good play, Trevor. Again, we're going to have to figure out who's going to play this receiving running back. What formation do we run the best out of? Definitely the 2 tight ends under center. 2 tight ends, ace personnel. I think it was this right here. Not that. This right here. This is what I think we run the best out of. There's 2 tight ends on the end line, 1 off the ball, 1 on the ball, twins out to the right. I think we run the best out of this. For sure. Okay, so we just saw the tight wide receivers. Here we're going to see them not tight. Again, this gives you a little bit more room. This gives a little bit more room for the vertical. And again, when you get that 1 high look, Trevor knows the soft spots in the defense are going to be to the flat and to the corner. You also could hit the seam depending on how this nickel corner or linebacker, whoever it may be, is playing. But these are your spots right here. These 3 spots. Typically. If the play develops a long time, you can get a backside drag. You could hit that too. But typically you want to stay away from the middle of the field with 1 high. It was just terrible. That was just awful. We're not going to stay on that play very much longer. Here we have trips. Okay, I like the trips. Okay, because again, this makes whenever you have an overload on one side of the ball. You have less room for route concepts, and you have less room for the receivers to kind of create space. However, you do make the defense have to wait for you to declare what you're doing before they declare what they're doing. So, even in a pattern match situation, so pattern matching just means they're both reading the two receiver. Um, and he's sealing off the three. And then this Brian Thomas Jr. declares what their coverage is. So if he goes vertical, the corner takes him. If he goes in, the corner takes him. If he goes out right away, then the corner takes him, and then he gets his eyes immediately to the one receiver. So even if you're pattern matching, when you have the trips out here to the right, it gives you a little bit more room. Again, you gotta hold up and protect. They got a tight end here on the outside. Yeah, I don't love this route concept very much. This looks like a clear out route. Clear out, and then Strange just leaks. So Trevor knew pre-snap. Trevor knew pre-snap when he saw these three here. He knew that Jacoby Myers running a vertical was going to make this linebacker have to cover him through the seam. Because of that, Trevor knows this vertical is taking the DB, the inside DB. This vertical is taking the outside DB. Safety's going to play over the top. So Trevor knows that he's got Brenton Strange and this linebacker one-on-one with a little inside drag. So that's why he went there right away. It almost seems like the play was designed to hit that from the very beginning. Good play. Didn't pick up a ton of yards, but good play. Hard to say without ETN as far as that receiving back. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I kind of have a feeling that Allen's going to take that job over, but maybe Tootin surprises us. Maybe they change what they do, and they, instead of using that running back as the fifth wide receiver and empty, they use a fourth wide receiver and a tight end, or two tight ends and three wide receivers. When you have a guy like Tanner Koziel, who's kind of a hybrid, you know, maybe that's how they do it. But you're right. At Syracuse, Allen uses receiving back. Just saying. Very true. Very true. What is it that Cohen does so well? Does he just see defensive mismatches better? It's hard to know. I mean, they interviewed the players, and Cohen was like one of the top 5 or 6 coaches that they all said best play callers. I would imagine that his route concepts are creative. I would think that all of his route concepts have 1 high and 2 high beaters built in. And I think the biggest thing is that he's a very good teacher at how to make checks at the line of scrimmage, how to make an audible at the line of scrimmage, cues to give Trevor that when you see this, this will be open. I'm sure he does a lot of work behind the scenes, scouting the defense and tendencies and things like that. Typically, all these coaches run the same stuff, but being able to communicate it to your players to do it effectively during the game is what makes great coaches and not so great coaches. So he just must be a really good communicator and teacher of his team and offense on how to make checks, what's going to be open, your progressions, and all of that. Maniac Slap says, gang, gang. I love it. I love it. All right, this one we will call 11 Gun. Ooh, I like this play because I know I've said Tanner Koziel's name so much and watch him like do nothing this year, and this all be for naught. But is this not the perfect Tanner Koziel play? And when I talk about the most dangerous formations, this right here. So you have Brenton Strange on the inline right here. He's pretty obviously running a route. I don't love when tight ends tip what they're doing like this. But he's got all the weight on his hands. He's got no weight on his heels. He's pretty much tipping off that he's running a route, which is fine. It could have been an obvious passing down. Who knows? You got Twins out to the right. You got ETN to the left and Gunn. You have a tight Jacoby Myers. But watch Brenton Strange's route right here. Watch it again. Is that even Brenton Strange? Looks like a 6. It's Johnny Munt. Is that Johnny Munt or Brenton Strange? I can't tell. Runs this corner out. DB does nothing. He's probably not worried about it. He probably doesn't care. Can you imagine if this is Tanner Koziel? No one is beating Tanner Koziel to that ball because Trevor could throw it 7.5 feet in the air, and only Koziel's coming down with it. Like, he doesn't matter what anyone else does. Trevor could just point his hip this direction, tell them he's going there, and just throw it up. I imagine he's reading Trevor's eyes, and he sees he's not even looking this direction, so not worried about it. But there's no coverage on this back pylon or the back of the end zone here. None. Touchdown. All day, every day. Yeah, touchdown all day right there. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. This is what should have been in the 2 tight end package, and it somehow slipped out. This is another 2 tight end set. 2 tight ends with tight under ace. 2 tight ends, tight. This is what we've said that they run the best out of. I prefer them to be a little bit more out here. I don't know if they run the ball here or not, but I don't typically love these formations because you're putting everyone on the defense within like 15 yards, which I'm never a fan of. Pre-snap motion. Oh, a little jet sweep. Okay, I'm a fan of it now. Never mind. See, you ask what makes Liam Cohen good. This is a great play design. If you have 2 blocking tight ends right here, which we definitely do now, it's a foot race to the edge. Terrible block. Terrible block. Is that Johnny Munt? Johnny Munt again. See, this is what makes us dangerous, is Johnny Munt whiffs on this block. Nate Borkature, I imagine, is a guy who can make this block. And if he makes this block, who knows how far Parker Washington's running. Okay, I got 2 more plays. We have ace motion. Looks like I got a little bit of range. We don't have a lot of gloves on here. Oh, double motion. I like it. Again, this is where you have the Brenton Strange acting as a fullback. So I imagine it's a run play. That's a good little Mr. I don't know if that was. I don't know if the play was. Is that a trap? I guess it's a trap. Ezra Cleveland, I guess trap blocks here. Down, down. Yeah, I guess. A little misdirection. Could have been a counter. I don't know what they called it in the huddle. Broken play. ETN just makes a good run out of it. Last play I have. I'm super excited about this one. This one again. I'm missing one here. I had a play that I knew. Oh, this one. This is what I wanted to show. This I'm excited to see if they do more of this. They didn't do a ton of this last year, but I want to see how they do it with Tootin and Allen and Rodriguez and whoever else they fill the room with. This 20 gun. I guess 21 gun. 21 gun. Tight end, 2 running backs. It's kind of hard when you're a defense how to attack this when you see 2 running backs come out on the field and a tight end, and then you come out and gun. Because when you're in the booth for the opposing team and you see 2 running backs come out and you see Brenton Strange come out, you're kind of like, Okay, send out the nickel package, send out the base package. It's hard. It's hard to know. So that creates problems. But you have two backs in the backfield. A little misdirection here, a little play action. You got one running back going this way. I'm guessing ETN's running out for a route. I'm guessing this looks like Allen. He's blocking. Strange is blocking. So this is like a max protect play with two routes being ran and a leaking running back. So the hope here is that you have time to throw and you have time for these receivers to get open. It looks like Brian Thomas Jr. and is that Parker? Jami Brown. Forgive me, it was Jami Brown. And the play didn't work. But again, this is the downside. You got to be able to hold up your block here. This was like a max protect. It looks like it was designed to be a throwback. That's what it was. The entire play was designed to be a throwback because you have the entire blocking scheme going this way. So Trevor's designed to get here for a little bit of time. And then the plan was for this DB to follow Diami Brown and ETN to be wide open. Because look, he rolls out and then turns right to ETN. Linebacker does a good job covering. I mean, the play worked. We just got beat at left tackle. Play didn't work. Route concept worked. Play didn't work. Offensive grade as a whole. A, B. I give our receiver room an A. I give our quarterback an A. The running back's hard to evaluate. I give our tight ends a B plus. The O-line I give a B, low B. Running backs I give a high C. So B plus maybe is the grade. Again, the running backs are only a C plus because none of them have proven anything. Tootin had a good playoff game, had a good half in the playoffs. LaQuint Allen is what he is. I wouldn't say outstanding yet. Rodriguez is what he is. Again, not another guy that's not outstanding. So it's hard to give the running back room a good grade. And then the O-line, is Anton going to play left? I mean, that's a wrench I didn't plan on evaluating. So yet to be seen, but it'd be hesitant to give them an A unless they just come out clicking, which they could. Another year under Liam Cohen, another year with Uditsky. Shane Waldron is a huge part of it. I was listening to an interview with Liam Cohen, and I know a lot of people don't like Shane Waldron because he came from the Bears when the Bears were bad, but apparently Shane Waldron was the reason why Liam Cohen got the job with the Rams. So Liam Cohen was at Maine University, and then he went from Maine to the LA Rams, which is a pretty big jump, and he talked about how Shane Waldron was the reason why. Shane Waldron got him the interview, and he got him the job out in L.A. So you can feel however you want about Shane Waldron, but that dude's going to be at Liam Cohen's hip forever. And you can maybe even look at it like a Doug Peterson, Press Taylor situation. Hopefully not as bad, but they have a relationship that transcends results, I think. When you look at the results the offense had last year, it's hard for me to hate on Shane Waldron. But when you look at that group of coaches, bringing everyone back besides ETN, they have to get better, right? I would think. They've got to be able to do more things. And so hopefully an A. Right now I'll give them a B. But good question. But hopefully those are some formations we see, and we can see a little versatility with the depth they have at wide receiver and the depth they have at tight end and the versatility they have in the offensive line. I think this offense could be even better than last year. And if the defense flies around the way they are in training camp, I mean, this team could be legit, man. They really could. So excited. I'm excited to do the defense. I'm going to do dangerous defensive formations with dime packages and nickel packages and box safeties and things of that sort. So make sure to be looking out for that. I appreciate you guys being here. Had a lot of fun. It's nice getting back into the film groove. It's very nice getting back into the film groove. We're going to be breaking down film this preseason, probably. So appreciate y'all being here. Make sure to drop a like. I can't monetize these videos because I'm stealing film from the NFL without the express written consent of the NFL, and I apologize, NFL. I'm not making any money off of it, so don't come after me. This is all for fun. Appreciate you guys being here. How confident are you in the left tackle situation? Not very. I like Cole Van Lannon, but his injury is obviously what's giving me concerns for confidence. But don't want Walker Little there unless we have to. And if Anton ends up being really good there, then awesome. So we'll see. It's hard. Go Jags. Brian, channel member. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here. I love y'all. I'll see y'all very soon. Club Jaguar tomorrow night. Me, UCF Jaguar, and Jen Jag, Jordan Lugo. So make sure to check that out on their channels. We'll be on there. And then next Tuesday, we'll be getting ready for some real football. Can't wait. Super excited. Love you guys from the bottom of my heart. I'll see y'all very soon. Until then, as always, go Jags.